Hello, Libra. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Your reading is activated. As soon as you click on this reading and you start to get into it, it becomes yours. Okay? All right, so I also want to mention this is being recorded on October 7th, 2025. It will also be released on October 8th, 2025. And I just want to mention the dates so you know when they were recorded, when they came out, the context of which they were birthed. That sounds weird. It's too early for all that. Now, anyways, today we begin with the energy of the Emperor. I don't necessarily love the oranginess of this particular interpretation, although I do love saffron. I do love the golds and yellows and oranges. There's just something about this archetype that feels like it is missing. Now you can see the legs as they are crossed, not unlike the Hanged Man, right? And maybe this is out of focus, probably. Not unlike the Hanged Man. The thing about the Emperor is there is a leader there. There is a ruler. But this is also a very solitary person. Not unlike the Hermit. This is somebody who spends their entire life being educated, trained, and conditioned to make decisions for a collective. That is no easy task. And to do all of that and also stay morally intact, not easy. So when I see this card, it's actually one that I am usually fairly, I feel a lot of empathy for those who dwell in the Emperor. Not so much the Empress, because the Empress is more fluid, I think, more kind of connected to the greater all, where the Emperor is similar to like the image of the monad, the circle with the dot in the middle of, the God in the thing, God in form, God in, whatever. It's very out there on its own, right? Have you ever seen or read, the graphic novel is ridiculous. Shout out to Alan Moore, by the way. The Watchmen, right? And there's that guy, Dr. Manhattan. The existential loneliness of having, basically unlimited power, but also intelligence, vision to see what is. That is something that is probably very difficult. So, I don't know. I'm not saying this is a sad card. It could be that, you're getting that raise. You are going to be the manager, or you are starting that business, or, you are becoming the head of the family type of deal. It doesn't always have to be like the sad thing, but I have to say, we are in the cold months. It is starting to look like it will snow here in the next couple days. And there is just this very kind of poignant feeling right up against the chaos of everything, the madness that is life right now. So let's go ahead. We're going to take a look. And I want to say thank you for clicking on the reading. It is always such a huge honor. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. All right, we have a large M. So I'm feeling like we have probably somebody who is uninvolved with a core situation. They have an M name, and they are almost kind of in this oppressive stance. I almost kind of feel like this is like a older person in the family, or maybe at your workplace. You can see two people right here. Let me get my stick. The head is here on this one. Here's the body. And why do I keep... I've moved my chair around to kind of make more room in here. And so now I'm like learning where to hold the bowl again. And also I have nothing to lean on. So if you see me moving around a lot, I have ADHD. I just have to be real. I am constantly wiggling around. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to be more still so I don't make you seasick. So we also have the person here. Here's the body and the head, and they're hand in hand. And then we have this M. Look at that right there. Now, you might think, okay, this might be shelter. This might be, some kind of looking over, kind of taking care of these two people. But really, it kind of almost looks like a spider, and it feels oppressive to me. This is like the overbearing mother, right? That needs to know everything. You're, 47 years old, and your mom's still telling you how to like fold your napkins for the holidays. And yeah, I mean, that's it. I don't know, that might be nice to have somebody with a little bit of input, but at the same time, it's like this continual overstepping, micromanaging. And I feel like for you, this year, there's no question in my mind that you are just not allowing anybody to come into your space and kind of shove you around, right? Or bully you into doing this or that. And usually I think that you're all about just keeping the peace, going along, just so things are a little easier. It doesn't always have to be this big ordeal or argument. You're fine with, kind of, I wouldn't say surrendering, but, bending to other people's will to some degree, right? Within reason. And there's nothing wrong with that. I say it all the time. Dude, I used to be, kick out the windows of a police cruiser type of chick. And these days, I will do whatever I have to do to, whatever, song and dance, whatever, just to keep the peace with people. I don't necessarily love this. Of course I want to like pop off. Of course I want to, say the most hurtful thing I can think of sometimes, right? But why? Why? So I don't care. I've folded. I'm a sellout, you guys. I will be nice. I will be polite. I will do what I need to do. And, and then I get on with my life. And I feel like a lot of us are like this, but I feel like I even just have to qualify it because I know there are a few of you who know me from back in the day that are out here listening. And you're like, this chick, dude. But I do feel like, yeah, there's like this real sense of, I'm just going to do what I know I need for myself, for my family, my close family unit. I'm not letting in all of the other criticisms and the, passive aggressive mind games and, all the mental and emotional gymnastics that you usually have to kind of play. This year, you put your foot down. And I don't even think it's like you're mad about anything. I think it's just kind of like life is so difficult. Like on a good day, it's so difficult for most of us. why would I throw some more on top of that? Why? Why would you? Why would I? Why would we? I think a lot of us are just to the point where it's like, I want things to be good. I want them to be peaceful. I want, both in my private life and in my, my smaller local life, and also in the greater collective, of course. I'm just not willing to go into somebody else's paradigm and make myself small in there anymore. I'm just not. I don't know what it is, but I think a lot of us, and I know you do, you feel this way too, Libra. I'm just not going to do it. And you know what? Good for you. I am 100% behind you. If you don't want to host the thing, don't. If you don't want to, do it at mom's house, but you do all the work and nobody else helps you, and you say, no, I'm not doing this anymore, or I'm just, I'm going to have to miss the holidays this year and do something else. Good for you. Now, I do love tradition, of course. And I am often the person that says, I'm not doing it this year. And then I do anyways. But, yeah, I do. I see you really, you're stepping up for yourself. You are protecting yourself, not in a, venomous, angry, I'm gonna, and listen, Libras, I love you. But you guys are really SH talkers. You do it privately. You don't really like to be confrontational. So not usually do you say it to people. And that's okay. I'm not to say I'm a little confrontational. Let's be real. But yeah, I mean, we all do. We all kind of talk, but you guys are real. I mean, if I really want to chop it up with somebody and clown, I have a niece who's a Libra. She's the one. Now, she's almost an adult, so, it's within reason what we're talking about. But, yeah, nobody has the better cuts than she does, for real. So, yeah, I see you really just kind of relieving yourself of this stress. And I think it feels really good. Honestly, I think that you feel very not righteous, but righted, you feel more balanced in just kind of deciding, I just don't want to get involved with all of that this year. So you do your own thing. And I'm interested if you have something else you're doing, some new tradition, or, you have a hope or a dream for that, or something you used to do that now you're bringing back, or whatever it is, I want to hear about it. Let me know. Now we have the head here. You can see here's the eye. This is the nose. This is the mouth. And it goes down. Here's the neck. And then hair. All of this would be the hair. Okay, so it's side profile looking this way. We have, it looks like a star right there. And then to me, down here, it looks like we're looking at, it looks like a guitar to me. You can see kind of here would be where the strings are. So first, I just thought this must be Artemis. I don't know who else it could be. It really, I have a necklace that has a very similar kind of profile bust of Artemis. And yeah, 100%, this is the energy. So we have the Huntress, right? We have Diana, one of the lunar goddesses. Also a early mother goddess, or maybe a maiden, depending on the depiction, okay? I'm going to say, because we have kind of the little circles within there, it does remind me of the Artemis that is She has a lot of mammaries on her. They look like water balloons, if you know what I'm talking about. And this depiction is one of fertility. It is one of the All-Mother. It is one of bringing sustenance to her children through the divine milk. Okay. And so when I see this, I know that we have this like ferocious, calculated, brave, just completely in the zone kind of mindset, but also one that is honoring, one that is noticing, one that is holding space, safe, and really like so much love. It feels like a very warm love, right? Like hugging your grandmother for a long time, you know? And it's nice and warm, and it feels like in that space nothing could ever go wrong. And so I feel like you are becoming more and more every day this beautiful, almost kind of seems contradictory, but really not, right? You can be both the warrior, the huntress, and the mother or father, caregiver. And so, yeah, now we have over here that star. We're looking at a goal. Okay, now we also have the guitar, which I imagine is music. I'm thinking that this must have something to do with maybe the desire to feel things, maybe more pleasurably, letting go of your inhibitions, allowing yourself to kind of just be immersed in something that is not within you. You know what I mean? Like just kind of getting into the flow of the music. So I do feel like there is a sense of accessing the steam valve. That's what I keep hearing is like, if you are older like me, you remember this as kind of being a trope in especially like cartoons and stuff. But there are these valves that you, in these old, you know, furnaces and steam, I don't know, is it a steam engine maybe? You turn it and release some of the pressure because it builds up. It could turn into, you know, something very dangerous. So I do feel like this is a sense of knowing that you need to kind of let off some steam. You need to get outside yourself out of your normal routine, or like go out for an evening, or, you know, something like this, like find a concert that you want to go see, maybe go to the local eatery or bar or whatever, go see a little band at a dive bar. That sounds like fun. Maybe go to the symphony. The Nutcracker will be coming soon, so the ballet, right? Oh my gosh, one of my favorite shows to see. But something like this, I think that you really are somebody who loves music so much. And if you want to share what kind of music you like or your favorite artists, put it in the comments. But I do think that that's going to be a sense of freedom for you. Now, I want to look at, it looks like a group of people around a fire. We have a person here. We have a person right here. We have a person sitting here. Another one here. And then in the middle, kind of like right in here, like a fire. Campfire type of deal. We also have what looks like maybe a rock and a bird. And just kind of a little bit more of an empty landscape. So I like to think of this as like the desert, or maybe the high prairie, or the wilderness. Right? We've all heard, you know, especially within the systems of Christology or Christianity, this idea of Jesus kind of disappearing for these years to go out to the wilderness. And what does that mean? To be out of the home, out of the nest, to go into the greater world and become a person, really, get an education in life. And, it's debatable or whatever. People like to, kind of muse on what maybe Jesus was doing. I don't know. Probably somewhere in the Middle East, going to college. They did. They had schools of mathematics and the sciences and, of course, the many religions and so on. So I don't know. I mean, that would be my guess if he was a historical being, So anyways, I feel like for you, there is a sense of finding community within some kind of belief or interest or study, something that is profoundly moving for you. And then to have people in your life who you can commune with, that's important. I feel you coming into this space. And it's going to be one that I feel like it recharges you. Now, on the other side of this, I feel like in your dreamland, you are in that arid place. You are definitely in it's like a sense of sitting and pondering, sitting and contemplating, trying not to get into the zone of rumination. But I do feel there is this kind of what does it all mean type of wave, right? I think that, a lot of us are going through a time right now where we are taking inventory of our lives, and we are kind of reacquainting our goals, because the world is, I don't know, maybe it feels the same to you as it did years ago, but to me, I feel like I'm in a whole different timeline. Like, I don't feel like I'm even living in the same reality as I was even 6 months ago. So yeah, I mean, things are shifting, things are changing. What was possible even just a few years ago, maybe not possible easily in this moment. So we have to readjust. Not to mention, everything costs so much. That's one of the biggest things, is that everything costs so much. Who can afford very much of anything anymore? At least in America. I don't know what it's like in other places right now, but here it is expensive. So I'm seeing we have some chickens, and there are this one right here with the arms raised, the person with their arms raised up towards the sky. And then here we have another one with a person with their arms raised up towards the sky. Now, where's the other one? That one right there. Okay, so this is, to me, symbolic of prayer, of making appeals and making offerings to the universe. We also have the number 197. 197. I feel like you've been considering, I don't know, maybe like going off grid or becoming less reliant on, whatever system, industry, supply chain you are utilizing. Yeah, and I wonder if you are like literally thinking about getting chickens, or maybe you already have chickens, or I don't know. But it does feel like for some reason real live chickens are very much a reality in your life, or becoming a reality. So I could see I could see how that kind of ties into this like feeling of what is next, you know. I don't know about you, but I've been following that 3i Atlas stuff since August, I suppose. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's an interstellar. That means it's an object that came from outside of our solar system. And it entered and it's gone very close to Mars, and it will go close to Jupiter. And it's, they say it's a comet. It's not behaving like any kind of comet that we've ever seen. But that doesn't mean anything because, listen, we've seen barely a blip, a grain of sand in this massive universe, right? I'm sure there are so many things that we can't even begin to comprehend. So it might just be like a different kind of natural whatever. Now, there are people who think it might be an alien ship or some kind of probe or, whatever. I'm just stoked on it. I love that these kinds of things are in the zeitgeist. And it feels like even if it's not having any kind of impact on the sun or, or the earth or us directly, we're also having all of these solar storms, right? We're also having increased, what is that thing called? I always forget what it's called. It's the resonance of the earth. Let me look it up really quick. Resonance frequency. The Schumann resonance. So that thing's been going wild, I guess. I don't know a lot about that one. I remember it from, I feel like Jordan Maxwell talked about it a little bit. And I've seen stuff about it. I don't know a ton about it, honestly, if I'm being real with you. But I know that everything has been going, right? It's been wild, and we have been feeling the effects, right? And that's not just some, hokey, superstitious stuff. Yeah, we're literally being affected by these things. And it's just a weird time. It's a weird time. I don't know. Let's do our numbers. 62. Number 62. Things feel different. I don't know. Do they feel different to you? 17. Now, my husband, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He agrees things feel different, 67. But he's so involved with his work in the business, which, of course, I'm also working constantly and part of the business on all levels. But I also do the house, and I'm the primary caretaker of our daughter and stuff. So I'm out in the world a little bit more, above ground a bit more. And I feel like I notice it more than he does. I don't know. But he's also not reactionist like I am. I'm like, woo, feel something for 2 seconds and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? He has the ability to kind of rein it in, right? And just kind of wait and observe and see what's really happening here. It is a conversation we have a lot when I'm telling him something. He's like, okay, did you think that, feel that, or did you actually, is that a fact? Man. All right, let's do our gratitude affirmation cards. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Abundant harvest. I am grateful for the vast resources in the world open to me. I glean abundance from plentiful food options, diverse cultural exchanges, education, and advancements in technology. Practice. Reflect on a resource that has provided you with sustenance for your mind, body, or soul, right? Awesome. I have been, I don't know. Things are, I love seeing that card because I hope that this is true. Things here in the U.S. are in a weird place. We are, they're not funding food support for people. And I don't want to get into it. I'm not going to fight about politics on here. If you know me and you know my heart, you probably know where I stand on these kinds of things. But you might be surprised about other parts of my politics. I don't know. But yeah, so I just, I don't know. It feels like, it feels like a very dark time in a lot of ways, but I'm also seeing and privileged enough to be able to work with people in my community to, provide in ways that however we can and help get resources to people and stuff like that, food especially. I'm seeing people very impassioned, and it sucks that the world has to be like this. For us to really see how much our neighbors will show up for each other. But it gives me a lot of hope. And a few months ago, I think I was getting pretty cynical. And I still, of course, I'm scared. Just like everybody else. Worried. Trying to figure things out. How we're going to make things work. Just like everybody else. But I'm hopeful, These cycles of disillusion and cleansing, and it is a cleansing, we are seeing things more and more for what they are, right? And at the same time, it's just so much, it feels so distorted, right? And I don't know. I don't know what to do with that besides, show up to our lives as much as we can every day and do the work, And I want to be clear. This is something I should probably make a post about. I use this term, the work, a lot in my readings. And I've noticed sometimes in the comments, people defend themselves because I think they think I'm talking about a job, right? Like a career. And I should be clear that I do not mean a job or a career. Although maybe you are doing your inner work, your divine work, your alchemical work, your self-evolution, human development, whatever it is, within your job, right? You might have, a job that allows for you to do that. But I never mean, and I will never, ever sit here and say anything about what people should be doing with their time or working or not working or any of that stuff. That's not my business. I will say, though, that when I am talking about the self-work, we must be brutally soft, right? We must retain our capacity for empathy and feeling. But, baby, that work is not pretty. It takes a lot. It takes a lot because it hurts. Your life will fall apart while you're doing it. Probably more than once. And that's a gift. It doesn't feel like it, but it is. But yeah, I just want to clarify. I'm not ever going to sit here and say the way you're going to make it to any kind of meaning is through having a job. No, I won't say that because I don't believe that. I do think it's important to be busy with stuff in your life. Now, not just busyness for the sake of busyness, but to have projects and goals and things that you spend your time with that are, productive in some way, right? Doesn't have to be monetary. But yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to say that I love you guys so much. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I'm going to say good night. I love you.